Hello everybody and welcome to another Roadshow. It's a beautiful Friday night today. We got everybody already fired up, already been waiting for this one for a couple weeks now. This week we have this time around we have, I believe, 10 participants, which is the highest number we've had so far. And it's going to be quite a nice one. So let's get started. For anybody who doesn't know how the show runs, it's basically we got 4 judges, 10 participants. The judges rank the participants, and at the end, there's going to be a winner. So I think let's just start introducing the judges. First things first, I'd like to introduce Mr. Matija,
Hello, sir.
the co-founder and lead at Superteam Balkan. Welcome, Matija.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure to be on the show. Small intro about myself, or do you read me? Yeah, so TLDR on me is I've ran a Soban development agency for about 4 years now and co-founded along with Marko, my Serbian better half, Superteam Balkans, 2.5 years running strong. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Inspirational. I gotta say, very inspirational. Thank you, Matija, for coming here today. Let's get on to the next judge. We got David here from Ika. He's been on the show before, and this is his second time around. I guess he just liked it so much, he had to come back. So welcome, David.
Hey, I'm just trying to figure out my camera, so you'll see my hideous face in probably a few minutes. But yeah, hi, I'm David, co-founder of Ika and Crypt, and glad to be here again.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. All right, so let's move on to the next judge, Ranga, founder of Solomon Labs. Hey man, how you doing?
Hello, Mr. 8-Bit. I'm doing great. My name is Ranga. I'm the co-founder of Solomon Labs. We're building the infrastructure for productive dollars, and I'm glad to be here.
Thank you for coming on as a judge today, man. Thank you. Next up, we have the one and only Kru. Hey man,
Yo.
Welcome.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for the invite here. Always a pleasure to be a part of this show. I'm to give a short intro. I'm Kru, the co-founder at Umbra, and we're building an incognito mode for your money. So that's it.
I think hopefully our audience already knows about Umbra quite well. So and shout out to Umbra, and again thank you to them for sponsoring everything around ownership. So yeah, let's move on to the. Oh, we got all the judges and the camera up in the floor. Okay, and we're gonna have our first participant from Daniel from Oxar.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm CEO of the Oxar, one of the co-founder also. Do you see my screen right now?
Yep, okay? We see. Yep, you see your screen just fine, which means you have about 5 minutes to pitch, and then the judges are going to have about 5 minutes for any questions and answers. So
sure. Okay, so let's start. Yeah. So hello everyone. We are the Oxar, the Erwa hub. So in the one account you can own the world real assets like stocks, gold, government bonds. And the best part, you don't need any broker, you don't need any bank, you always keep your own money. So what's the problem? Real assets, stocks, gold, and bonds, they are still locked behind brokers, borders, and paperwork. So for the most of the world, they're just out of the reach. And on the top of that, you need a different app for each of them. You still don't really control your money in one place, like in your phone. So that's why we built the Oxar. It's a one door. You connect, you own the real assets, and you can take your money out anytime. The Erwa Hub, let me show what we have inside. In one account, you can get real stock, real gold, and yield on your dollars, and all of that is live today. And the one we are most excited about coming next is the government bond from around the world. We are starting from the Ukraine, and this pays higher yields, the kind most people can never reach, and we bring them to the one simple tap. For example, if we talk about the Ukraine, it's probably 16 API, like on the screen. And getting money in is so easy. You can add money from any chains because that's powered by our partner, Delora, so shout out to them also. Or you can just buy with your Apple Pay. We provide aggregator like a MoonPay or Transact also for that, like a normal app. And you can choose 3 speeds in our application. That's how hard your money will be works. anywhere from 4% to 16%. So safe and simple or high yield, it's your choice in one account. And what we have now, the reals is not only a DEX, so stocks, gold, and lending are live right now. And as I told before, bonds are next. And here's how we work. We build fast, we put it in the people's hands, we listen, and we fix in days, not a month or not in weeks. So it's a small team taking small, fast steps, getting a little better every week. And our first partners are already testing, and our wait list is open and growing. And yeah, that's the Oxor, the Aurora Hub. So it's one door to your world real asset.
All right. So if that was your pitch, then we can move on to any questions.
Sure, I'm listening. I'm ready.
So the judges, you guys can feel free to ask any questions. I don't know which of you wants to go first.
Yeah. Sorry, David. Maybe just wanted to ask about like the different modes you mentioned. The 3 different 4%.
Yeah, like it's our filter in our application. It's not a filter like by user. It's just how we separate different API in our application, and we call it like your money can walk, your money can running, your money can stay. So if they stay, it's like a low API. If they run, it's a better API, but high risk, for example, for them also.
So that was actually going to be my question. What are the different risks for those 3 different models?
Because, for example, if we're talking about the government bonds, which we provide now, we have a government bond from the Ondo from the US, and they provide, for example, 4% in the year API. But if we talk about the Ukraine, it can be more even like 16 or 14% API, which is better and like bigger in 4 times. But also you have a big risk for that, for example, to lose your money. So yeah, that's actually the filters for that API.
It's live.
If you're talking about the government bonds from the US, it's live now. And if you talk about the government bonds from the Ukraine, we are working on that now. We need to prepare some lawyers' documents for that.
I mean, a couple of questions about traction and retention so far. Like, which users sort of love you the most, and why do they love you for doing what you do?
We think that we can be an application for invest your money in some country in government bonds, and also to manage your money for stable coins. If you're looking for a safe place where you can put your stable coins and possibly works and earn, for example, 5-6% API in the year, we can look like that.
Like a follow-up to this would be why you and not the obvious bigger player in the room who could bolt this feature on?
Yeah, of course. Our main goal is government bonds, and we want to start from the Ukraine and moving after to another countries. So we provide like the new things on the market that didn't exist yet, because only the US government bonds now on the market on their own chain. So we want to be the first one who brings another one.
Sure. Thanks for the answer.
So I just I want to understand what, in your opinion, is the biggest reason you won't be able to succeed.
Because it's a two-winning side for people who invest in country. They are earning in the API, and the country gives money for for investing in the country, investing in some regions of the country or something like that. If you thought about the Ukraine, it's open to investing from the like a European side or side of America and something like that. So I think it's two winners of the coin.
I'm not sure I understood the answer, or maybe you didn't understand the question. I'm asking, like, what is the #1 reason that you won't be able to succeed? not that you will succeed, right? So what is the biggest threat to your success, and then how do you mitigate that threat, and how do you work against it?
It's a good question, you know.
By the way, this is just so you know, this is like the biggest question you always need to ask yourself as a startup is like, what is the number one reason I won't succeed? And then all of your efforts need to go in order to make sure that that number one reason doesn't happen, right? Like that needs to be your biggest focus.
Yeah, you know, we won't be just a regular app for the staking your money or something like that. We wanted to get a user to choice to invest in other countries, to get more API, to save the money.
Yeah, but you're thinking about the happy path, right? You're thinking about what is the value that I'm providing and why will people want it? I'm saying what is the opposite, right? What is the threat? What is the biggest reason people won't use you?
It's a good question, because I think that the highest risk for us as an application, it's when user can he can lose her money in the bonds if some country gets a default situation in the country or something like that. It's not on our side, but it can be possibly. So maybe something like that.
You think that's the number one threat for you not being
if you're talking about our goal to bring the government bonds, I think that this is the one with the most big part, yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. I think I'm gonna have to cut you guys off there because it's time. It's time. So thank you, Daniel, for that pitch, and thank you to all the judges for all the really good questions there. Next up, we have Access, and from Access we have Muse, the founder of Access. So welcome, Muse.
Hey, nice to meet you. Thanks so much. Thank you for introducing.
Yeah, so feel free to share your screen and show us your pitch.
Got it. Give me 1 sec. Okay. Yep. Hi, I'm Muse, founder of Access. Crypto already trades narrative. People don't just buy tokens. They buy beliefs. They buy thesis. They buy a story before the market fully agrees. But today, there is a missing piece. Belief moves markets, but belief has no financial context. A narrative becomes a tweet, a token list, a wallet screenshot, a chart, a manual portfolio. The belief is clear, but the position is fragmented. If you believe in Solana, DeFi, AI, meme coins, tokenized stock, or any market narratives, you still have to build that position by hand. You choose every asset, you buy every token, you manage every weight. And if someone else wants to follow your idea, there is no simple object they can buy. Access fixed this. Access turns narrative into DTFs. A DTF means it's a DEX trade fund. It is one tradable position token backed by an asset or real on-chain asset. One belief, one basket, one token. For example, a creator can launch a Solana DeFi DTFs. They choose assets like Sol, Jupe, and Jito. They set the weight, and then users can mint, redeem, and trade the exposure as one token. But the most important part is under the hood. Access is not just a UI. Here is a simple example. So a user deposits 1,000 USDC. Access takes a 1% mint fee. So 1,919 USDC goes into the underlying reserves. If this DTF is 14% Sol, 13% Jupe, and 13% Jito, Access loops that USDC into those assets. Then Access checks the actual on-chain reserve balance change. Only after the real reserve are verified, the users receive the DTF token. So the backing is not a quote. It is not a promise. It is real reserve verified on-chain. The NAV comes from those reserves. The market price comes after people trade the DTF. So once the DTF is created, users have two ways to access to exposure. They can mint directly through access, or they can buy the DTF token on secondary market as liquidity develops. One token gives access to the full basket exposure. That is why this is different from simply launching just token. A normal token says trust the story or something like that. A DTF says verify the backing. And we already so demanded. So, yep. This is our team. We have the perfect role to execute this. I'm a 21 years old full stack builder backed by a deeply technical team and our magic advisor from the Tito Foundation. So on DevNet, more than 400 users created over 2,200 DTF organically recently. So no paid marketing, no incentives. People come because they want to turn their own market ideas into something real. So then we moved to close the mainnet. The numbers are still early, but users paid real fees to mint real DTF exposure. So this is the roadmap. Now we are version 1 core handling, and then July we are integrate with Oracle, Radium Mint, and Radium validation, and then in August meet in Dwelling and Mountain DAO, we will public launch open DTF creation. After launch, creator economy, partner distribution, or secondary market expansion, like Hilo or OmniPair, something like that. We are building the DTF layer for Solana. Every native on Solana should become a market. Every market should become a token. And every token should be backed by something real. That is access. Thank you.
Thank you, Muse. Thank you for the presentation. Guys, for the judges, feel free to ask. I don't know, whichever one.
Start.
Yeah, I think, David, you can start. Yeah.
So can I just, I mean, I have a bunch of questions about rebalancing, and I was looking at your website while you were talking, but I think maybe the basic question is, how is this different from Sesto, if you're familiar with Sesto? They just, by the way, they were announced as one of the winners of the Colosseum Hackathon, and they're doing a really great job in basically what you described, like thesis baskets on Solana. They have some pretty cool, they have a lot of traction already. They have a lot of partnerships that they're starting to do in the ecosystem. So like, what's the differentiation there? How do you see yourself against Sesto?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we have to research about the Sesto. I saw the tweet, and then actually before that we didn't know that we know the some founders and names, but we didn't know just like how it works or something like that. So we have to research other competitors like similar to DTF or something like that. Yeah.
If I can jump in, since it's kind of similar, Diversify, maybe if you've heard of them, they're kind of also doing the same thing.
I'd say there's been a number of these types of index type ETF products from Index. There's actually a whole protocol where you can launch your own ETF products. The core question always comes down to how do you plan on gaining traction, attracting users, and then historically these types of products have failed in crypto for various reasons. One is the liquidity requirements, creating the secondary liquidity necessary, then the rebalancing, etc. There's a number of issues. Most of those revolve around liquidity. So how do you plan on overcoming the challenges that others faced, and why would this be different?
Yeah, this is also a good question. So everyone asked this question. So we are planning just first we have to fixing liquidity, and then right now we're just right now discussing about with my team what should I fix these issues like liquidity, because basically we're just like a token launchpad protocol, like on DTF infrastructure. Actually we build it. So yeah, actually right now we're trying find out these answers. So yeah, it is not to make sense right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead.
So
I think.
yeah.
Go ahead, sir. It's fine.
Sorry. I mean, so this is basically using real assets like buying the underlying asset, like using using Orca LP pool, and then later fallback later LP pool. So, but if I want using if I building a product like DTF secondary market or something like that, just like leverage DTF, leverage ETF or something like that. So this is a huge problem for me, like liquidity, and then how can I get the traction, like user numbers, and then create a creator economy, like so we have to researching out some project, and then
All right, I think that's all we had time for you, Muse. Thank you for coming on. That was great. Next up, we have. Well, let's see who we have, and whether we have. Yes, there you go. We got Salmon Wallet. We got Nacho from Salmon Wallet. Hey man.
Hey guys, how are you?
You can start your pitch right away.
Can you hear me okay? It's good?
We can hear you just fine.
Perfect. So, hi everyone. Good to meet you. Thanks for the space. Salmon Wallet is building an open wallet layer in Solana. We started forking the solid code back in 2022 and presented ourselves in Breakpoint that year. And our thesis is pretty straightforward. Even in open ecosystems, one of the most important access layer is controlled by private companies. We may hold our keys as users, but we still depend on closed-source wallets for roadmap decision, defaults, integrations, monetization logics, and long-term long-term product direction. And that matters because wallets are not just an app for signing transactions. They are like a gateway into crypto. It shapes the user experience, the distribution, and in the end, our behavior. In practice, we see this as more like an operating system than a product itself. So we are trying to create not another wallet, not just another wallet, but open up one of the most strategic layers in crypto and make it available for. And the thing is, we believe that early adopters or first users that are not hypothetical, they are builders, contributors, integrators, and crypto native that already care about self-custody, transparency, neutrality, and why this layer matters. And today, many of them still have to use closed-source options because there's no clear alternative, at least in Solana, that's built around a model that has an open code, self-custody, an extensible access layer, and a credible path in terms of community ownership. So the good thing is that this is not like an idea stage project. It's absolutely live. It's live across browser extensions, web wallet, Android app 2 weeks ago, and everything we've done, it's built in public. It's accessible on our public repositories. The team has already absorbed like all the initial risk of building, launching, relaunching, and a deep technical refactor, because as I mentioned, we started as a fork of Solid, but we have already revised. So all of that has been already absorbed by the team. And we also operate an active Solana validator. So infrastructure from the outside. We want to serve the ecosystem, and we want to participate in it. So the race is not about proving that something exists, but because that stage is behind. The race is about accelerating the next phase. Bringing a wallet that's more reliable, better apps, better integration, and stronger distribution among high alignment users. And the idea is raising funds to execute a 12 months plan, and then trying to get that capital allocation for execution, infrastructure reliability, ecosystem growth, and governance. So there's one more point that matters a lot to us, and it's that we insist that open source, is the way to go. We insist that open source, it's the only way to do this infrastructure, and closed source is a tax on trust. If a wallet concentrates power, it should be at least open to public inspection, discussion, and improvement. So crypto promise will never be fulfilled if we put this in between us. So in the long term, what we are really trying to build is both a product but also a strategic position. The product is the wallet, if you want, but the strategic position is opening one of the most important access layers in crypto. If everything goes well, Salmon should not be seen or read as just another app in the market. Be understood as an access infrastructure capable of accumulating trust, relationships, integrations, and eventually broader participation and community, not only community governance, but also community improvements. So that's what we're trying to build.
I think your time just ran out. So now the judges can ask the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ranga, you want to
Kru,
go ahead?
You take this
It's fine.
one. No, Kru, you got
All right.
this.
Dude, I missed half of the pitch, so I'm just gonna ask what I heard at the start. If I were to ask you, select either one, being an infrastructure or being a product, what would it be?
Infrastructure, definitely.
Okay. And why do you think it makes it painfully easy for, everyone to adopt you compared to everyone else? And why would a developer rip out their current wallet solution to just integrate Salmon?
You mean attracting new users or
Yes.
switching to
Yes.
developers?
Switching to developers.
I guess that's the hardest path, bringing new people in. But I feel that if you provide enough open source infrastructure for them, if you put out an SDK, if your code is public and everything you do, it's open, I think the developers will end up coming. Right now, we don't have any other open source alternative in Solana, fully open source.
Can I jump in? First of all, nice to meet you, Nacho. And you've been breaking up a bit. I don't know if it's just for me or for everyone. But I think so. We should have a conversation regardless outside of this of the roadshow. But I think one of the and this is building up on what Kru said. If your value proposition, like your USP, is we're open source, this won't cut it to be like an infrastructure play. If you look today at the wallet landscape, Privy is kind of controlling the infrastructure part, and Privy is the worst. Like they're furthest away from open source. It's centralized. It's custodial. It's really the worst. You're basically your users are renting their wallets from Stripe, and still people are using them. And the reasons are using them are not because of open source or self-custody or anything like that. It's just because of ease of use, and eventually they become upset because they're paying too much in SaaS fees. So this is something that I would urge you to kind of rethink. If you do want to have an infrastructure play and you want to compete with players like Privy, then you need to come up with something that is not just we're open source. I mean, open source is nice, and I'm a proponent of open source, but that won't let you beat Privy at their game.
Absolutely, we would really love a conversation outside from this one. And yeah, don't get me wrong, open source is a must. It's not a value proposition. We really need to build stuff that works flawlessly. And sorry, I switch off my camera because I think I'm the one glitching. So, and also I feel that and this is something we discuss a lot with the team. I feel the need is ecosystem participation. You know, again, open source is a must, but if we bring people to build together and to together too, and you get the possibility of creating this a value proposition in which money doesn't end up in the banks of closed source companies, I think that would be the way to go. But yeah, definitely it shouldn't be it's part of this pitch because it's technical one, but yeah, it's not a value proposition at all. But thanks, and I really look forward to that talk.
Is there anybody who's got questions? I think we might have time for one more.
Cool. Yeah, Nacho, great to meet. Nice name, almost close to Solomon, so points there. I would have loved it if you had a presentation to go along with it. It would have been much easier to understand some of what you're doing. But if you did have to just summarize quickly, because there was a lot of stuff that was cut off. What is the core value prop that you have for your wallet, like in like 2 sentences or a couple of sentences?
Sorry, I totally missed the question. Can you repeat it, please, if you had time?
Yeah, I said in like 2 to 3 sentences, could you actually just tell me the value prop of your wallet? Like if you were just simplify it down to why we should care about this wallet.
You're muted, Nacho. I don't know if you're.
Super sorry. It's no, but it's absolutely impossible to catch it for me. I'm sorry.
I think you're having some connection trouble. It's great to meet Nacho.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I think we just lost Nacho there, unfortunately, but that's totally fine. There was an interesting presentation, a pitch without a pitch deck. So we can move on to the next participant, which is Stealth.
Hey everyone. Thanks for the invitation. Everything is right?
Yep, we can hear you. We can see your presentation. Everything's great.
That's perfect. So I'm Luis, and this is Stealth, the privacy first neobank built on Solana. So let me start with the reason we're building it in the first place. So here's the thing. Right now, if you live on chain, you're juggling 3 tools, and every single one of them leaks. First, you got your crypto cards, it spend your money, sure, but in doing so, it exposes everything on your own. Then you got your wallet, your strategy is just sitting here, and it's like an open book for anyone to read. And finally, the privacy tool that are supposed to fix all this. And yeah, honestly, it's way too clunky to actually use day to day. So that's 3 tools, 3 compromise, and at the end of it, you're still exposed. So now you might think on-chain always been public. What does it matter now? It's because something just changed. Public used to be kind of harmless, too much noise, nobody was actually reading it. But we think like AI killed that, because now you pass the wallet address into a chatbot, and like in 2 seconds, it ends your net worth, the salaries, the counterparties, even what time zone someone in. So your anti-financial life is suddenly readable at scale by anyone. And that's the world we're shipping into. So our answer to all that is pretty simple. Private money you can actually spend on the way it works. On one side, you got a virtual bank account, so a real IBAN. You have the card also, so that's your bridge to the real world. Then on the other side, a privacy wallet powered by Umbra. So you shield any asset, send and swap privately. And we're not stopping there. We're bringing private yield and lending right into the app. So on that side is also provided by Arcium. So it keeps the sensitive data encrypted on chain. But the real magic is the link between the two wallets. You move funds from your bank side to your private side in just 2 taps, and there are no traceable on-chain connection between them. So that's the part nobody else does. So and this is really how worldwide edge, because if you look at the market today, it's split in two. We got one side, we got the crypto card and the neobank. On the other side, the privacy protocol, and they basically never overlap. So there's only one sitting right in the middle. We are banking and we are privacy, one on a single compliant infrastructure. Nobody else is playing on both fields at once, and that's exactly the gap we own right now. And the best part on this isn't a mock-up. It's already live, because now we got more than 500 testers using the full dual wallet setup, doing real private transfer on DevNet with Umbra today. So what you're looking at, if this is the actual app, so you got the public balance, the private balance, the shield, you can send money, and all that work right now on DevNet. For the traction, on the traction side, the traction already been wide for 8 months of work. So on top of those 500 in beta, we got 2,000 people on the waitlist. And in the meantime, we ship it non-stop. So we go into the Colosseum breakpoint, and Arcium honorable mention. We do also the Mountain DAO demo day, and on top of all of that, we buy protocol right now in the space, because Arcium and Umbra give us marketing growth and like technical support directly. So honestly, all of this started with just 2 of us. We are 2 dev who saw this problem coming and decided to build the fix ourselves. So to wrap up, I leave you with the one line that it's all up. AI doesn't need to break up encryption. It just needs to read your wallet. And that's exactly what we're fixing right now. So yeah, thanks for your listening, guys.
All right, so the judges can go ahead and ask questions now.
Okay. Can you explain? You said that you're obfuscating the connection between what is happening on the blockchain side in the private vault, and what is happening on the card. How exactly are you obfuscating that without degrading the user experience, like with unnecessary OPSEC, or necessary but unfriendly OPSEC operations?
You're right about the question, because the goal on Stealth is to get the simple UX, because as you said, it's complicated to reunite like the banking section with the card, etc., and the blockchain section with the code wallet. So it's like a deal for us to do that correctly, because we want to be as smooth as possible for every user to use Stealth. But for the moment, it's something we do pretty great, because with all the feedback we got on the application, we are very happy on that. So yeah, basically this is what we got. Yeah.
I'm curious how you're doing it, because if you do want to obfuscate operations that happen, right? If I'm spending $1,000 and what I'm doing is transferring $1,000, even if it's encrypted, you can reverse engineer that, right? So like what are you doing in order to obfuscate that without ruining the user experience? That's the question.
Yeah, so imagine you do your conversion fiat to crypto on Stealth. So it basically come to the turnkey wallet. So this wallet, it's KYC. Like I got, this is why when you got the card, etc. But like I said, we got the cold wallet. So when you do a transaction between the public and the private one, we do this transaction with Umbra. So you never can be linked the transaction between the two wallets on the chain.
I'm not sure I understood, but I'll look into it later.
Okay, great.
Cool. My question, maybe a provocative one. Like, what is preventing, let's say, Kru and Umbra from just like releasing a credit card and running you over effectively?
That's a great question because we talk a lot with all the team of Umbra, and you're right about that, because if Umbra decide to do that, we need to add some other features on sale. But like I said, we are still on beta for the moment. All the features we're gonna add, like lending without collateralize, thing like that. For the moment, nobody does that at the moment. So we are ready to push some new features, not only on the private side. So yeah, we are ready to compete with all the other protocol. Shout out to Kru, of course. But yeah, we are ready. And a great question, because we think about that, of course, because if Umbra decide to do that, it's like us. Yeah.
Cool, thank you. Hopefully Kru doesn't like credit cards.
This is more of just a lighthearted question. What? How did you come up with the name Stealth?
Because we are French, so we want to find a word in English like that represent like discretion, something like that. So to be honest with you, we doesn't know the word stealth at the beginning, so we just decorated that, and we think like if we add the F like finance at the end, it could be great. Yeah.
Cool, thanks. That's awesome.
Nice. What David said. Am I audible, by the way? I am, right?
Yeah, all good, yeah.
We've seen like a plethora of neobanks turn up in the last couple of months. Of course, you are adding privacy to it, right? But there are certain user flows in this where privacy actually breaks. And why would it be?
Broke.
Ah, man, it's the worst internet. Why do you think that a private neobank works better than other neobanks? Privacy actually breaks. How do you plan to avoid that?
I think I don't understand all of that, all of what you say, because you're lagging a little bit. Maybe it's me, but
you were breaking up, Kru.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I think we'll just let that one go. That last question. I think your time is up. Thank you for coming on today. That was great.
Perfect.
So next up, we have, who do we next? And we have Backyard Finance. We got Alex here. Hey, man.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Yep, we can hear you and we can see the screen as well. So feel free to just let it just go.
Perfect. So my name is Alex. I'm the founder of Backyard Finance. We are building full cycle yield manager on Solana that keeps your capital liquid. So let's move to the problems. What we understood that like earning yield is definitely like a full-time job today. So every yield seeker or DeFi user in Solana is playing some sort of losing game right now. Your yield position are scattered across different of protocols, across dozens of protocols and dApps. So protocols actually that could be exploited. We don't need to go so far. Like we all remember Drift, so one exploit and capital gone. That's actually what diversification risk looks like in practice. And even if you manage it in the right way, the moment you deposit to the vault, your capital will be definitely locked. So it's like you earn yield or stay liquid, and almost never bought. So yeah, yield is fragmented, diversification is painful, and capital is frozen. 3 problems we try to solve. I said before that we are a full cycle yield manager that keeps your capital liquid. That means that we offer two core products. It's a yield manager and backyard dollar. So the yield manager allows users to build different yield strategies across custom allocation, with custom allocation across stablecoin, RWA, stocks, and other Solana yield products in just 30 seconds. So it gives you access to hundreds of yield vaults in the single UI with full cycle management, including manual or automated rebalancing. And on top of that, we use V3 style economy, which means from the first side, we incentivize each vault, so the user will get boosted APY. And from the another side, we orchestrating liquidity to underlying protocols. So you can look at this like we are orchestrating Solana DeFi liquidity. The second core product is backyard dollar. So the users can optionally use strategy LP tokens as a collateral to borrow backyard dollar and stay liquid in the same time. So backyard dollar is a hybrid, something between hybrid CDP and USDC-backed stablecoin. And it could be used for trading, looping, and earn more yield by staking BYD into stability pool, which will be maintaining mechanics for liquidation and bad debts on the protocol. So you could think of the two core concepts, like you could build your own carrot or lulo strategy on the backyard, and in the same time, you can stay liquid. So right now, we are in almost 50 billion market on Solana, and here is no yield manager right now. So we see that we can penetrate like between 200 and 600 million in target TVL, and it's conservative. So how we make money? We split it in two parts, for yield manager and for BYD stablecoin. From the yield manager, it's performance fee. For the BYD, it's mint, redeem, and liquidation fee. So we have some sort of multiple revenue touch points per user, and retail TVL, it's just one of them because we plan to build yield as a service for B2B. It will be integrated directly into neobanks, non-custodial wallets, payment service providers, because all of them sitting on billions idle capital, and like that's enterprise revenue that doesn't depend on the market cycle. So what about go-to-market? 3 stages. We are on alpha right now with real users. Beta will be very, very soon, like in 1 week, we expect the huge announcement, and full launch in November. So we are not betting on retail TVL only. We scale through protocol partnerships on B2C side and yield as a service, as I mentioned before, with integration with wallets, neobanks, and etc. So we already have some traction today. We won Solana Superteam Hackathon like last year, Colosseum Sidetrack. We got a couple of grants. We won Solana Mobile Hackathon, and we already partnered with Tier 1 protocols on Solana. Also, we got more than 2,000 whitelisted users and more than 1.5 already minted our early contributor NFT. So what about team? We have a team of 4 right now. I got, thank God, 1 month ago, I got my technical co-founder. The works now, it's much easier. We worked together like more than 4 years. Also, we have Mango. Mango, it's like a big person for me on Solana because a lot of people know him, and he's a good growth hacker for us. And also a full stack engineer that I also know for a couple of years. So we know how to build, we built already together, and we know how to grow it. So if you want to like contact me, just scan QR code, and always welcome in DM. That's all, guys.
All right, thank you, Alex. Anybody can start asking the questions. Maybe Ranga, you can have some interesting one.
Yeah, Alex, great presentation. If you could go back to that slide that described the 2 products, I think it was Yield Manager plus the Backyard Dollar. I just wanted to better understand the dynamic between the two. So here you mentioned the ability to create yield strategies, whether they're at automated or manual. Is this a service that you're offering, or is this something that others will use?
That service that we offer. So we want just ask the question.
Yeah, so this would be kind of similar to neutral trade in terms of their vault structure. Similar, but I assume here you have tokenized vault product for these yield strategies, or is it one consolidated token that represents all of the yield?
Right now we are talking about. So I would split this on two sides. We are talking right now on the distribution side. In distribution side include yield manager and backyard dollar. But you mentioned neutral trade. It's some sort of asset manager, some funds, VCs acquisition. So that's about vault infrastructure. And this part we built after we built distribution side, because like the whole flow, the whole concept is like we want asset managers, VCs, funds build their own vaults to attract money. And we already have like distribution layer for these vaults. And these vaults will be incentivized, and it's attractive for the retail, like this flow looks like that one.
I guess I don't fully follow you. Give me an example of what this yield manager workflow looks like.
Right now, it's quite simple balanced strategies. We integrate all the Solana yields right now. So let's say you want to build some balanced strategy between some Camino vaults, Jupiter vaults, and Perino vault. You could just go to our UI. You will see the full aggregated list. You just select desired vault. You set up deposit asset, and you set up allocation, like all on you. You will be on the backyard like a strategy architect. So all on you. You are like a self curator right now. So that's why I mentioned that you could use you could build like really your own Lulo or Carrot strategy on the backyard. So you don't need to use other strategy, because, for example, underlying. For example, I don't know. Let's take Carrot. Carrot had before like 8 protocol underlying, but if you are using your personal risk management strategy and your strategy not aligning with the Carrot strategy, that means that you definitely need to manually manage all of them. But we provide the interface on top of all of the features underlying. We provide the interface when you can build your own strategy based on your personal risk management, and a bit later stay liquid, because you will be able to use each vault that you put in your strategy. You will be able to use each LP tokens as a collateral to mint our stablecoin.
Okay, that's the part that I was getting to, which is the token that represents your position. Yeah. How are you pricing that token in terms of LTV for borrowing your backyard dollar? Because then ultimately someone has to underwrite it. How do you underwrite this?
Yeah, it will be definitely depends on the vault. It will be depends on our internal scoring system. And right now we are actually looking for some sort of third-party analytic Web3 company that will help us with this solution, because it's always on the product shoulder, because this internal scoring system. And right now it's not a primary task for us, because primary goal for the backyard right now is to push yield manager into the market. And only after this, we'll be able to think about the risk management on top of the like TVL, LT, and other metrics in terms of backyard dollar minting.
Yeah, if I could just give you some advice on that front, I would remove backyard dollar from the pitch altogether. The yield manager alone is a sophisticated enough product which you're offering as some sort of service. Figure that part out first, get that working, and then introduce the concept of a backyard dollar, because it just makes your pitch weaker, or it makes me skeptical right off the bat and saying, well, you've got all these problems that you need to solve for yield manager. And then now on top of that, you have a whole nother layer to solve as becoming, who's going to underwrite this? How are you going to provide liquidity, et cetera, et cetera. So I would just say, as yield manager, it sounds like an interesting product. if you're creating the tooling necessary for anyone to come in and curate their own vaults and then advertise those vaults, that's sort of the sense of the product that I'm getting. That's an interesting product, and I would focus primarily on that.
Okay, got it. Fair enough. And I understand why, because we working right now only on the yield manager, and as I said, it's fair enough. But the point, the backyard dollar here, it's almost every time the answer on the question, why do I need to use your yield manager? Because the core value of the yield manager it's definitely backyard dollar, because like we don't have a product that allows you to be liquid when you still farming your APR, and that's like the thin part of the pitch here. Yeah, but I got you.
Yeah. Yeah, it sort of then boils back down to the question of like, what are you building? Because that's why I asked that question of neutral trade. Neutral trade is the one that's curating these strategies and saying, hey, we're going to give you very easy access to yield, delta neutral yield strategies, right? Like they're taking the responsibility of orchestrating all of it and setting up these vaults and whatnot. So like you have to kind of go back to like, what is it that the core value prop of what you're building? Because you can't start from backyard dollar, which you haven't solved the problem for, of how do you underwrite all of this. You're just introducing layers of problems, which for now, it doesn't look like you have the solutions for.
Okay, got it. Fair.
And I think just to add one sentence, I think what Ranga is saying is that I think you're grossly underestimating how complicated it would be to solve that problem. It is, on paper, it sounds like it makes sense. Of course, yeah, I'll have the position and now I'll use it in order to back it. It is so much more complicated than what you're imagining. And so, yeah, definitely you can put it as a small footnote, but not as like the main value proposition.
Okay, got it.
All right. Thank you
Apart
guys.
from all of this, I'd say it's fucking great brand.
Yeah, you gotta fix your internet connection.
Yeah, I think that's
worst. I was just saying, it's an amazing pitch deck, by the way. Great branding.
Thank you.
All right. So that being said, we can now move on to a brief section in the middle of the show, which is going to be a little bit of a chit chat with Kru from Umbra, because as you guys know, the episode is sponsored by Umbra and it's powered by them, and we're very thankful for all their support. So if you're listening now to this show, please go give Umbra Wallet a try. It's a great experience. It's one of the most beautiful wallets I've ever seen. You can go private. You can use it in DeFi. Obviously, the private stuff, you can't use that in DeFi, but the rest you can use it just in DeFi, just like in every other wallet. And and yeah, it seems like hopefully Kru's gonna need a bit of a better internet connection. But maybe we'll just imagine that he's here. So yeah, go try out Umbra today. Umbra is available as a web app and as a Chrome extension, and it's also available on all mobile devices, iOS, Android, and even the Seeker. So I want to thank Umbra again for the sponsor, and I hope Kru will be back on air. But until then, we can move on to the next pitchers. And the next pitch is no other but Bento.
Hi everyone, this is Hanami and I'm the co-founder of Bento. Glad to be here today and would love to share with you guys about what we are building at Bento. So I think right now we already witnessed the shift of the interface. Like right now, people like human are using the app, but in the future, agent will use the app for us. Actually, we already see ChatGPT. They can like already answer like where to book a flight, how we can swap from USDC to Solana, or like pay the hotel or pay like have agent payment. But in the future, it's going to be the agent who already transact that. So I think we can call it like agent agentic commerce. But actually, right now we see a problem right here as agent can decide and let the wallet can sign the contract, and from that, the chain will execute. But actually, there is no security check here. So even so, for example, if agent be manipulated or have some prompt injection, the transaction still be executed on chain. So we cannot undo that on blockchain, right? So it is a huge risk for human, and I think it's affiliates can be on like a kind of barrier. That's kind of the search layer that stop people using agent right now. So that's why we build Bento sit between the AI agent and blockchain. So before the agent do any transaction, Bento will verify whether the transaction is executed in the correct way or not. Any prompt injection here or any bad intention that they are being made. And the best part here is only with online SDK that developer builder can integrate in some second, and with LLM intense with an encrypted logic, it will be secure for agent as well. But right now we think it's a good time to build Bento, the security layer for agent, as right now we already see million of transactions already made by agent on Solana. And for the future, I think most of the transaction will be made on by agent. So with the projection of 183 trillion market growth for stablecoin, I think it will be the huge market for us to be the infra layer for AI agent. So here is a quick demo that we can show you guys how Bento can stop an agent from like under without control when they are user trying to test transfer more than 100 Solana here, and Bento will verify the intent and send back to the human to verify whether this is made by them or not. So from that, with the human loop, with the intent analysis, this transaction will be blocked. And this is one of the most use case we received recently, but in the future it will be more and more use case when like it's become autonomous transaction and human cannot be all the time being checking or verify. And we believe the technology that can become our most here is the behavior risk detection that we are trying to build. As the more user, the more builder who use Bento, the more data we can have, and the smarter it can get. And also with the self-improving threat detection loop, we can train our LM and agent and secure agent be smarter to simulate the critical attack in the history, and like a program defense solution for agent. So for the business model, right now we are running two main business model, B2C and B2B. With B2C, we already started with our private beta test with more than 150 active user, and B2B with the other agent protocol. We already onboard more than 3 partner who already integrated Bento. So the section so far we have got along with Colosseum is some side check winning right here, like privacy check made by Basic Block, Superteam Japan, or RPC Infra check as well. And it is some of our building public section. So the team behind Bento, we have a global team across France, Japan, and Vietnam. And so far we have built several products on Solana, on BNB, and we are gathering together and combine of our experience to grow Bento as a primary security layer for AI. So that's it. Thank you.
All right, the judges are free to ask any questions. I think David, you may have a question here, so I'll just let you go.
Yeah, I think I chatted with your product guy on one of the ownership radios, and we also I think we have a group with my team at ICA. I think the most probably the most basic question is you mentioned this is a security layer for AI agents. If you can maybe explain at a very high level, what's your plan on who holds the authority to actually generate a signature to approve a transaction of happening, and how exactly do you manage the security between the policy that I'm assuming is on your server and the AI agent, which I don't know where that is. Maybe it's self-hosted, maybe it's also on your server, and the end user, like where exactly the authority lies on the cryptographic level, if you can maybe explain.
Okay, so first of all, I have to share that I'm a non-tech builder here, so probably I can give you a picture from my understanding that can give you like quickly how we made it. But for the technical side, maybe I cannot give you more detail. So basically, right now, when you let an agent do any transaction or like swapping on or trading, agent itself will be the one who sign the transaction. Like they will like automatically move out the fund, right? But when we integrate Bento into the agent, Bento here, we will not like hold or like sign any transaction, but we will verify the transaction before they move out. So let's say it's like a middleware sit between the agent and the wallet. The first layer will be the policy check that we already made for agent. Like we will have a library of ready to use policies that people can use, like the spend limits or for example, spend limit. And the second layer is going to be the context, like the LLM analysis here, like what kind of transactions they are doing. It is weird transaction or not, or what kind of protocol they are interacting with, or smart contract they are interacting with. So the context layer will be the layer that we apply AI into this. Like we analyze on-chain transaction, we analyze the we have the knowledge base for the protocol on Solana in general, and also we have the data from the like behavior of the transaction. So this is the second layer that we are planning to build.
Yeah, so I understand the policy part. What I don't understand is at the end, who has the authority, right, to sign? Who actually has the final authority on signing the transaction? Who holds the key, right? Like that's the question.
So for example, for the example that I saw in the demo earlier, when like agents try to move out 100 SOL, Bento will send the notification for the user, like the end user. They will receive the notification whether on UI of Bento, whether on like the like agent message, whether they set it up on Discord or Telegram, and user will be the final one who approve that transaction.
So the user has to be in the loop for every transaction?
Yeah, I think Bento will not like send the not send all the transaction detail, but they will only send some like a high risk transaction.
But then if the user is not in the loop, so who has the keys? Who signs it? Right? So either the user is in the loop and they have to sign, or the user is not in the loop, and then whoever has the key can sign even if it doesn't follow the policy, right? Like I'm trying to understand who holds the keys.
So I think recently we also see some case that agent try to like click the policy and they still execute the transaction, whether they have some policy. So that's why we have to have more and more layer, more than this policy here. So
you're saying the agent is holding the key, and you're basically asking them not to do the transaction and to wait for the user approval?
Yeah, like if it's like high risk transaction, we will stop it. Like wait a little bit. We need human here to approve it. If not, you cannot do it.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, one question from me. Are you guys aware of the allowances, the subscriptions that Solana released recently, allowing delegation?
Like the subscription.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I just saw it from you, one of the member of Solana Foundation Lab also. Yeah.
Cool.
We
Is this
also see
how
it.
do you how do you view this at Bento? Like, because I would be seeing it as like potentially you would not be using Bento in between. You would have like merchants allowing users to actually set recurring balances. You're okay with losing it in an automated way. And what's your mode there?
For this, I think first of all, maybe we can be a potential builder who can take advantage of this, as we also planning to take it as a subscription model for our B2C user as well. But for the business side, like if it can become like take like how to say tech stack for agent. It's also something potential for us to take like deep dive into, like whether which kind of protocol is applying this subscription model and whether it's safe enough. I think it will be like a potential for us if it's more and more protocol using this subscription model and less agent to use it. So that's the way we can step into. Thank you.
All right. Thank you to Bento for coming on today. Thank you, Anami. And now we move on to our next participant here. We have Kulowski from ClearSeg. I think he should be here. He should have his camera on. I saw it a couple seconds ago. So hopefully he's gonna join. I don't know if you're muted, Kulowski, if you hear us. Okay. It seems like he's having some technical difficulties. So maybe we can just go to the next one and we'll come back to ClearSig after.
He heard the questions and just decided it's best to just leave.
Apologies for the technical. It's always the technicals. But, you know, there's a saying somewhere, probably, where if you're surrounded by good people, life is all good. So, okay, I think we do have somebody substituting for ClearSig here. Just give us a moment. And I think, oh yes,
how's it going?
This is a very, very special person of a special project because of, you know, ownership was incubating them, and now look at them now on ownership.
Whoops, there we go.
Roadshow. So yeah, Tony, I'll just let you pitch, man.
All right, perfect. So, hey everybody, my name's Tony. I am the founder of Epicentral, and you got to trade options on Solana. My background comes from financial derivatives and operations experience at Charles Schwab, Citibank, you may have heard of, Raymond James, and I'm kind of entirely self-taught. I've developed a kind of like a proprietary leveraged option writing mechanism, and I've tokenized options on Solana. Recently joined Superteam USA, and they've been helping a lot along the way. So as of right now, there is like no way to a real way to hedge against kind of exposed risk. Markets are 24/7, and as assets become more tokenized, tokenized stocks, we're seeing that, they're still closed on the weekends, but people can still trade them on the weekends. There's really no flexible way to manage that kind of risk, especially if you do trade it. And I think it's kind of a safe bet going forward. So the solution for that is a 24/7 option market, specific for Solana, just because it's fast, it's low cost, it's fully composable. And making it where anyone can write options and buy options for virtually any token anytime. Some of the kind of early momentum we've had with just being a closed beta, invite-only platform, we've already surpassed about 100 plus users on monthly average. We've been out since May 5th. 41% growth usually every week, and a pretty good retention rate as well of almost 90%. At just a couple days ago, I think yesterday, we hit 1,000 trades on the platform, and it's really cool to see that people are interested in exploring trading new derivatives. So why do they even matter, right? Well, options in general are kind of completely overlooked in crypto as a whole. Whereas in traditional markets, it's growing tremendously, 26% year over year, and has crazy notional volume, like insane, 5 trillion. It's no joke when they say it's a quadrillion-dollar market. Whereas in crypto right now, we're seeing sub a billion weekly notional volume across all platforms, across all blockchains, and Solana is not even on that. Is not even in that spectrum. So usually there's only one protocol right now that really makes up for 89% of that volume anyway, and that's Deribit and Derive. They kind of both, well, Deribit's more centralized, Derive being the more decentralized options. And some of the real world applications of it is Derive reaching 30 billion in total cumulative notional volume. And then SpaceX recently acquired Cursor AI, for those of you that know, for 60 billion by exercising their option. So there's still like a lot of use case scenarios for this, and a lot of this can be translated to crypto as well. So that's kind of why I started building Epicentral Markets. It's an American-style options protocol on Solana. The primary edge that we have across like other exchanges that exist today, let alone maybe some of the few that might have tried in the past on Solana, is that one, we're doing American-style options where you can exercise them at any time instead of European style where you're kind of stuck until the expiration date. I think the biggest thing about it all is that options have failed when it comes to liquidity. It's super fragmented. I mean, think about it. Let's say you have a call option on Solana at the $100 strike and it's expiring next week. What are the odds that somebody actually goes and buys that if you're selling it? Club style formats don't really work with this, so we kind of need to create one liquidity surface layer for this. So I went with what's called an option pool, where writers can, deposit collateral. They receive a short token, which is the option, and buyers can then buy and sell directly from that pool, receiving long tokens and vice versa. This makes it very, very fast and efficient for people to trade options, and we can do this for every single strike price at any expiration date. And there's a lot of room for improvement for this, which makes this puzzle very exciting. Our overall planned revenue model right now, we're still in beta, DevNet. So obviously we're going to do trading fees and borrow fees and maker fees. But I think the secondary revenue streams are what's really interesting, because this is supposed to be integratable. We're supposed to have different applications and protocols introduce these products to their users, such as Jupiter or Camino, I would say Drift, but anybody, right, could build into this. And, there's ways to capture volume there as well. I think the best part for all the data geeks out there is the option data. There is literally no option data at all. And options are like the original prediction markets of finance. So that kind of sentiment and being able to quantify that and use that for any sort of algorithmic trading or some sort of subscription-based service that allows people to see that data is really, really nice to get market sentiment. I think we all know here that markets are the fastest way to receive that data. And then lastly, something I actually have not even announced before is the autonomous strategy vaults. This allows anybody to create a strategy vault that can earn fees on vault deposits and withdrawals, basically option strategies, but very passive and is already set up for you. So a real world scenario or use case here is the actual platform itself. And I wanted to showcase some of the cool features that we have. Firstly, being the more simplified user interface, allowing, optimized for mobile primarily, where anyone can just select the type of option they want to trade or the asset they want to trade, select the strike that they want, calls or puts, select your quantity, you can see the expiration date, and you can place your order in one click. And then here you can see how much you're risking, how much to gain. Working currently on a probability of profit. This is very known in the options world to calculate the probability of you being at least 1 penny in profit by the expiration date. And just like that, I can also close this position at any time. I don't have to wait till the expiration date. It's very, very quick here. Furthermore, for the more advanced folks out there is the pro mode that I call it. This is more of your traditional style user interface where you can really like create different strategies. And I don't know why it says there's no options available there. That's hilarious. Here we go. Yeah, you can like play around with it and you can watch your like P&L curves change. So I would argue that it's better than perps just because your risk is defined here, whereas with perps it's very linear. You know, here you have time to be correct, and I think that's why prediction markets have really exploded in recent times. And then on top of that, it's not just protocol created. This is a completely non-custodial platform, so anybody can create an option if they feel like it for any asset. And just recently, I pushed an update where you can do multiple strikes with just one go. And the best part is that you don't actually need to have the full collateral to back the options themselves. You just borrow the amount that you don't have using leverage. So as an option seller, there's really only one reason why you would create an option market, and that's to earn income. It's to earn income from theta. So as long as your borrow APR for that position over a period of time is net positive to the theta you earn if your position's filled all the way, then it's a net positive trade. And then and I think this is the coolest part for most people, is being able to actually deposit and finance those market makers without having any exposure to the trade themselves. You literally just deposit and lend, very traditional Camino style, Jupe style deposit. You lend, you can withdraw, you earn from interest earned. Right now I have nothing in there, but say $100. And this is DevNet money, so I'm not that rich. But you would just deposit in there, collect your yield off of market makers borrowing from you, and you're never exposed to the actual trades themselves. So that's Epicentral for you. I'm happy to take any questions you guys have.
First of all, hi Tony. I'm a big fan of Epicentral and what you're doing. I think the biggest unknown for me, or what I'm still not really clear on, is your plan or your path to bring the liquidity that you need. And as you said, liquidity is probably the biggest problem with options, especially if you want it to be, even if you start just with like the very, very few blue chip tokens, but definitely if you want it to be for any token, liquidity is a huge problem. And I'm curious if you already started these conversations with market makers or with institutions that are now, for example, using perps in order to do hedge positions. Like, where are you in your journey when it comes to bringing liquidity or bootstrapping liquidity?
Yes, that's a really good question. It's definitely kind of like a really, it's a big question, because I think most DeFi protocols need liquidity to get going. The good news is that I've been in talks with Superteam USA. There's been former A16Z employees that have been helping me connect with different VCs and venture capitalists and angel investors, to help bootstrap some of that initial liquidity needed. But I think the best way to really acquire that sort of liquidity is by having competitive rates for lenders, right? I think a lot of people are looking for these sort of, high yield opportunities. We've seen a couple here on today's stream kind of talking about automating some of that, or creating baskets. And I think we can definitely make this integratable as well. So we can connect to, let's say, Jupiter Borrow or JupeLend or Camino, or, the list goes on. Really want to make this accessible where we can just use their liquidity that's kind of sitting there and expose them to that. So there's many ways to go about it. But yes, I've been speaking to a couple of market makers and initial liquidity.
Aren't you worried that like rehypothecating these creates like additional layers of risk that you maybe don't want to build your liquidity on?
Yeah, that's definitely true. I think there's a way to like opt into that or opt out of it, sort of thing. No matter what, though, it's going to prioritize the internal pools first. That way, people are actually incentivized to lend here to kind of increase those pools. Because if there's not enough people lending here, the market makers are borrowing from these pools first anyway, which is going to naturally bring that like dynamic rate there. For market makers especially, though, the interest rate is fixed. So whenever you open a position or you're writing an option, there is no exposure to, what do you call it? Like dynamic rates and dynamic interest rates. So you wouldn't get liquidated from that, for example. And that kind of avoids some of the manipulation that could happen in some of these pools.
Yeah, I'd follow up just a quick question. In your design choice, this is a smaller question. I have a larger one after. Between American and European style options, why did you choose American? Yeah, just kind of curious about your thought process there. What's the need?
Yeah, so here's why. American style options are more liquid. It's exactly what some of the largest markets in the world are using, and that being the American New York Stock Exchange uses American style options. I think having the ability to exercise early is extremely important in crypto. The biggest thing about this is that this is a risk tool. You're trading risk. You're not trading necessarily a product. It's a derivative. And being able to be liquid with that sort of derivative is very important. As you can see here, I mean, the options themselves can be fractionalized as well. So you don't have to buy one full contract at a time. And I think that adds an additional layer of keeping it very liquid, having that fractionalized, the fractionalized contracts and the time to expiration. You could close your position whenever you want. So it is a bit harder to measure.
Yeah, I was going to say it actually introduces a lot more complexity to your protocol, given the optionality. I mean, there's not really, I don't see a core use case for early exercise.
For most options don't get exercised early anyway.
Yeah. So why? Because I just feel like this is another attack vector. Like you're creating another surface layer for exploits. But if you want to briefly touch on that, then I have another question.
Yeah, very quickly. So, I mean, there's ways you can, I mean, I don't even know how you could. Here's the thing about options, though. You can't really arbitrage them. Options are priced mathematically. And as you see, everything is priced automatically using Black-Scholes, which is lives on chain. It's exactly how the options are priced in New York Stock Exchange or in a European market as well. Since it's priced automatically, it's giving you the absolute mathematical fair value of what you should pay and what you would receive in these trades. I think previous models, they're very focused on cloud style. So people would set up limit orders and you kind of have to match the maker kind of thing. Here, you can't arbitrage that. That kind of eliminates some of that, like, I guess, manipulative risk, I guess. The only real risk when it comes to options is the underlying asset itself. Can the underlying asset be manipulated, right? If that can be manipulated, then yes, of course, options can be used for that sort of thing. But I don't think it really matters whether it's European or American. Just the fact that you have that extra ability to exercise early adds that extra layer of liquidity that options have failed at many, many times.
Yeah, I think there's a balance there in terms of not just looking at it from the point of view. I agree with you. Like these are priced, right? Like mathematically for the most part. But I just mean it from a sort of, this is a profitable strategy in terms of where there's other various ways you can attack this by creating certain circumstances or sort of like economic attacks. Like it's just every sort of optionality that you introduce also introduce another layer of risk that you have to account for. So that's just like my question is like,
definitely,
can your choice of using American style options, is it justified essentially? Like, is there even an actual use case for people exercising early, or is that like a relevant use case?
Well, they're priced a little differently too, I would say, because with European style, you're just accounting for the expiration date, whereas American style, you have to actually account for the fact that anything can be exercised at any moment. And that creates that extra layer of complexity to the math. But that's why I've introduced a custom utilization driven implied volatility model that I won't get into. It's in the weeds, but it's very, very cool. And it kind of helps with that sort of thing. So, but this is why we need to get it audited. It's a big deal.
Yeah, this is all exciting. I was just mostly commenting as sort of.
No, great questions. I love them. I love them.
Complexity always introduces more risk. The other question I had was specifically around, it kind of touches on that first question of liquidity, which David had, which is like a core question that I have, and I think you answered it. But the options pool model that you have in relation or compared to Derive's quote model, I guess you could call it, or I don't know what the technical term is.
It's a quote-driven model, yeah.
Yeah, quote-driven model. This is similar to perps models where they differentiated, where you're trading against sort of an index. I'm blanking on the name. I apologize if anyone can remember. On ETH,
Derived,
it was like
Deribit, ETH.
It was an early perps. It was popular 3 years ago. But anyway, eventually there was like
the
people front running it. Yeah. People were front running it.
Something with G.
GMX.
Oh, GMX. Yeah, GMX.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of that in that some sense, because here the options pool is essentially like a black hole of liquidity, and then you're using, ultimately it is sort of trading against that pool, right? Am I understanding that correctly?
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, can you just briefly touch on why you chose this architecture and why that's better than Derive's model?
Yeah, so because everything's on chain. Every single thing is on chain. None of it is quoted off chain, and everything lives on chain. The payouts, the calculation, the validation, the execution. Why do you care? Well, I think for both regulatory pieces, it's non-custodial. It's a very big thing. I think this is one of the biggest hurdles for a lot of protocols these days, especially if you're in the US, is regulatory clarity, right? Right now, there's a bit more leniency, but for the most part, if we can make this as non-custodial as possible, well, one, it's programmatic, so anybody can build on top of it and scale it that way. And the other way is that it helps legally. And there's also ways to introduce privacy to it. I think when you go to quote-based, off-chain priced, market maker defined prices for options and implied volatility, it kind of like that part, I feel, has a lot of risk, especially if you don't know who's doing it, right? If it's a regulated exchange like Deribit, then I would understand that, but we're not doing that. And on top of this is this creates a layer of liquidity that you don't have to compete for with other buyers and sellers. You can come in and you can come out, which simplifies the model significantly. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to dive deeper. My views generally, this reminds me of sort of the parallels between GMX, like you're the GMX and Hyperliquid is the sort of Derive in the sense. And I would want to be the Derive versus the GMX. I would have to dig
my
deeper
knowledge
into your
not
model.
too deep on. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but this is really cool. By the way, great presentation. Loved it. It was very clear. You're very articulate.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, I think that's it for Epicentral now. Thank you, Tony, for coming on. That was a really great presentation. And we have the next participant here, Jason from Sesto.
Hey, how's everyone doing? My name is Jason, and I am building Sesto, and our mission is to end one-size-fits-all finance in the world. Sesto is the easiest way to go from an idea to a trade. It all happens in a matter of one click. The big change we're observing in the world is that finance is editorializing. So more and more people are trading directly where they consume news. Think X integrating trading. And more niche editorial, like think the ex-OpenAI guy that started a $25 billion fund, starts as Substacks and different editorial that sits on different places. And more than $1 trillion a day moves into not just retail, but institutional as well, into different things we see on the internet. And it's not just structured products. The insight is very simple. When you have a hot take, there's a non-zero likelihood that you're going to trade rather than tweet it. And headlines are unlocking themselves as a new asset class. At Sesto, we want to build a world where baskets present a menu of options and trades that you can take. What is a basket, you may wonder? It's simply a combination or a bundle of tokens, stocks, protocols like prediction markets and perps all in one position. So this allows you to represent the world in a whole host of different ways and create meaningful outcomes. As a team, we've had history building consumer crypto products before. We were previously early operators, pre-seed to Series B at an Andreessen Horowitz-backed startup, and also worked at a Pantera and Founders Fund-backed startup as senior executives. And the previous company that we built out had over 15 million monthly active users. It's called MiniPay, and currently the IP is owned by Opera. We've been growing very fast over the last few months. Today, we announced our victory at Colosseum as well as one of the winners. And in addition to that, we have over 30,000 followers and very deep partnerships with a whole host of players in the space right now to source liquidity, good spreads on all of the assets, making the products more and more reliable. When you buy a basket, you get access to all of the stocks underneath, which means that you're going to get access to the yields that come from it. You're going to be able to lend, borrow, and stake it. But at the same time, it's not going to be overwhelming, and you don't have to manage a whole host of portfolios, thereby making rebalancing, etc., so much easier. Sesno's baskets are a new financial primitive. They allow for programmable strategies, which means, just like Tony said, that there's options. You could now have strategies that straddle between perps, options, and tokens that create a more meaningful worldwide outcome. One of our most popular users, Seraphim, created a basket that allows anyone to get access to Solana's alt season. And that's been doing over 350% and growing weekly by over 30%. And the story is very clear. The fact that the barriers to create these baskets are super easy, it means that anyone can monetize and create a basket. People tag us all the time. So go ahead and try it out. The way in which we get a go-to-market flywheel in a loop going that's already started is by leveraging social dynamics that are already at play. Users attract more liquidity by bringing in by bringing in more and more curators that create more meaningful baskets that lead to more users. Our main go-to-market at this point has a retail shopfront, but also an SDK that we're speaking to a bunch of really interesting providers to take RWA plays that are out there into different wallets, exchanges, neobanks, and apps. We already have early commitments for these, and we're very excited to take those forward. How the product works is really simple. We have a workflow object that gets assembled as a result of either human or LLM in the loop that gets deployed into a transaction object that's then simulated and bundled together. We're powered by brands that you already know and trust, and I am super excited to take any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. I mean, this is a general question that I ask teams who are building token baskets, right? What's the actual reason someone would buy your baskets instead of replicating it themselves in like 10 minutes? Is that reason convenience, access, or something different? Now, I mean, heads up, by the way, I've already had a conversation about this with Jason like 2 weeks ago. I'm just asking everyone the same questions I asked him on the call. So, yeah.
I'll answer this with convenience is the main factor. That's the TLDR. It's the exact same reason that when you're on Solflare or you're on Phantom, you perform swaps and you pay 85 bips of fees. Why do you do that? You could still connect your wallet to a swap website. Super convenient. At the end of the day, orchestrating multiple swaps means that you have to go through a series of steps, move money around, rebalance, monitor your position, and it's not actively managed. Buying the position is just 1% of the true task at hand. You need to get out of the position at the right time, keep monitoring as the market moves. This includes technical, fundamental, and constant news analysis. And that, I think, is the main reason people are willing to pay for solutions like this. Thank you for the question, Kritaj.
Wonderful answer. Thanks, sir. Yeah.
Jason, great to see you. Full disclosure, I know Jason very well. He's part of Superteam UK as well. we're also talking about them integrating ICA once we go live on Solana. Honestly, I mean, I love what you're doing. I think my only question is, when are you going to change it to baskets.xyz?
That's a fantastic question. Well, funnily enough, we have purchased a domain name with the proceeds that is very soon going to redirect Sesto to that. So
wait, for real?
I can neither confirm nor deny at the moment.
Okay.
By the way,
Great
Sesto
alpha.
means baskets in Spanish, Italian, and Portuguese for all the folks out there.
Yeah,
and yeah, we're super excited about ICA as well. We are currently, we're partnered with Umbra, ICA, as well as Solo. We built a basket on top of like the MetaDAO ecosystem as well. So full disclosure on that.
Very cool.
Hey, Jason. Yeah, go ahead.
Ranga.
Yeah, just first of all, thank you. I wanted to congratulate you on winning Coliseum. Truly a huge thing. So we are seeing all these like competitors popping up. What would you say is like your main advantage, except for the apparent kind of first mover advantage that you have as of now?
Firstly, I don't think we're first movers.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that have tried out different iterations of the product in different ways. It's a combination of brand, very clear conviction for where we're headed, and just the network of people that we're speaking to. Sesto is and will always be the best place to settle large amounts of trades. We have the deepest relationships with every single asset issuer in order to provide assets on demand, which means that people that are trading on the fringes would either put anything between 100K to 100 million and probably get that. And that experience scales really, really well with time. And that early unlock is actually very hard to break out of. For us, we're not focused on having more baskets or more things. What we are focused on is having the best quality of it, which means our designers spending all night designing a specific like cover, or the thought that goes into it actually creates a very, very good flywheel that brings in people and has them stick around. And I think that's what fundamentally differentiates products like this in terms of how they go to market, etc. We've had commercial interest as well from wallets, etc., to want to integrate Sesto as a core feature. And I think that's not happened in historical iterations of this. And yeah, we're big fans of all of the other products that are building out there as well. And we hope that the design structure that we've taken up is something that's advocated and pushed more as well across the board. Thank you, Matija. That's a good question.
Thank you. Great answer.
If we have time, I'll ask one more.
Thank you, Ranga.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Jason, I guess full disclosure, Jason and I are friends. We've been chatting quite a bit. So, but I'll try to give you a hard one. I think you're right that here your differentiator is your go-to-market and how you've been able to penetrate beyond just, I would say, even crypto. You're trying to really get to retail and consumer in a way that is tied to sort of almost like an emotional response as well, like beliefs and I think your popular vault was Pelosi's basket, right? My question is, what do you do to mitigate risk around the curation of your baskets in terms of especially underwriting the risk that exists in DeFi or in crypto related to hacks and exploits that can really put a damper on things? And how are you thinking about that, and how are you mitigating for it?
Yeah, excellent question and a great curveball. To begin with, I think all of crypto has multiple layers of risk that we underwrite to begin with. This includes, tokens that we touch are inherently risky, both on the volatility perspective as well as like them being code that could be hacked. Now, the way in which we go about it is by not changing user behavior too much. Currently, as it stands, people buy into ideas, themes, and narratives anyway. You buy into an idea that this guy on a Telegram group is giving you the right contract address. You buy into the idea that Trump has the right basket ideas because they are doing it, or you buy into the idea that Nancy's last trades are going to make you healthy in some sense. So the way in which we go about evaluating and mitigating some of these risks is we spend a lot of time with the asset issuers to have a real plan, and this is a more of an operational plan that goes through every single layer of the stack in terms of spread, liquidity of their assets at all points in time. So our internal dashboards, much like Jupyter in the way they do a lot of routing, involves doing a lot of predictive analysis and really putting assets across the board, especially RWAs, to the test of the fullest of their benefit, like fullest of their abilities, to deliver a really stable product that works at different places, times, etc. So we have polling that happens nearly every time of the day that sends reports directly to some of these RWA issuers. And the other mechanism is that we don't actually, unlike most protocols that would pool in capital and make assets come into that capital, what we do is we don't actually intermediate a contract that holds the user's funds or the assets underneath. What we do is we ensure that both are met directly. So the user interacts with the protocol and the fees are taken as an in-between as a result of that. So therefore, there are fewer intermediaries that could get hacked there. And these are some of the measures that we actively take at this point. And because we're going with such a hard mission to end one-size-fits-all finance in a way that is truly unique, it's really important a part for us. And so if there's any good ways that we can keep auditing, we keep working with people across the board to ensure this, it would be awesome to actually continue to keep collaborating on it. But I really appreciate your question, Ranga.
Cool. Thanks, Jason.
All right, I think that was it. That was your time. That was a great presentation. Thank you, Jason. Let's move on to our next participant, which is Heisenberger from Revo Network. All right.
You're muted, sir.
Yeah, by the way, you're muted, so you should
Sorry.
mute yourself. Yep.
Yeah, my name is Luca. I'm founder of Rival Network. The idea is one wallet, every API. So subscriptions are inefficient. And I know this personally as a developer because I purchase various subscriptions on various platforms like Helios, Alchemy, AI subscriptions, and so on and so forth. And I usually pay about $100 per month, but I only consume about $20. And that means that I'm overpaying about $80 that goes to waste. X402 fixes that. It allows me to pay per call for APIs as I go on. And this is especially important for agents who don't have access to credit cards or bank accounts, and they can't really sign up to these platforms and create an account, link a card, pay every single month. They just need a wallet with a stable coin, and they can pay for these API services. But the problem is that paying per call breaks at scale. So if I were to purchase the same amount of API calls I do every single month through per call, the value I would be getting is $20, but the transaction fees to process those million micropayments would cost me over $800 on Solana. And Solana is cheap, and so this tells us that it truly does not scale, and the fees would exceed the value I'm getting by 40 times. So Rival Network is a non-custodial composable Solana program that's X402 compatible, and it's built specifically to scale micropayments. So I took data of X402 on Solana. There were roughly 7.58 million API calls processed through X402. And if all those micropayments were made with X402 plus Rivo, the total transaction cost would be $6. So that's 991 times cheaper. And the interesting part is that the gap only grows with scale. So as there's more micropayments, the scaling, of course, increases. Another interesting feature of the protocol is yield. So during the same amount of time, based on the transacted volume over X402, if all the agents were to transact in yield-bearing stablecoins, they would have generated additional $13,000 in yield. And so the overall network of agentic commerce would grow by this amount. And that's a net difference of $20,000 roughly with per-call versus X42 and Rivo. And so this is the only payment network that will pay your agent to use it. I'm a solo founder. My name is Luca. My handle on X is Heisenbergers, and I have 4 years of full stack Web3 experience. I've built many full stack Web3 applications, and today they just announced Coliseum winners, and we received an honorable mention in the Frontier Hackathon. The thesis is simple: millions of agents, billions of micropayments, few settlements, and yield underneath. That's the blueprint for agentic commerce. And I would like to also share our waitlist. We will be launching a new gateway, V2, that will allow you to have a single wallet and you can access every API in a scalable way. Thanks.
Can you explain what the product is, like how it does what you say it does?
Yeah, so it's a Solana program, and we use payment channels. So there's 2 layers of batching. So we batch payments. The first one is payment channels, where you lock up liquidity on chain with a provider, and then you issue off-chain commitments, and you can settle, let's say at the end of the day. That compresses and a number of micropayments into a single transaction, right? You can make many off-chain authorizations, commitments. But then we have a second layer of batching where we use BLS signature keys. Essentially, we can go around to many agents and many providers, and we can ask them to sign a single commitment message that clears many channels at once. And so now we can actually clear many obligations between many participants in a single transaction.
So this is like Lightning for Bitcoin. You're just doing it for Solana. That's
exactly.
So how are you going to avoid the problems that Lightning, inevitably faced, which is, I'm sure you know that Lightning is unusable. So how are you planning to avoid these problems?
So Lightning, the problem with Lightning and agentic commerce is that when you pay over Lightning, you still have to pay a fee per payment. So even if Lightning didn't have other issues, it would still not be usable for agentic commerce for purchasing like millions of API calls every single day.
I understand, and I agree with you. I'm talking more about the structural problems, right? Of like channels never being closed. You know all the problems.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So now on the other side, we use persistent channels. So the idea is that you don't open a channel every single time you want to interact with someone. You open it once with a provider, and then you keep it open. That's the first thing. The second thing is the issue of liquidity. So Lightning Network has atomic payments, meaning that if I have my liquidity locked up with user A, I want to pay user B, I have to route that liquidity. We also allow that to happen through the use of BLS signature keys. And so the difference is that in Lightning Network, you need to pre-fund both channels. So you need money between channel A and B and C. With us, you only need to fund the channel between A and B, and the B will just forward the liquidity to C. So there's no need to rebalance channels.
But then that becomes custodial, right?
It doesn't become custodial. It does introduce trust assumptions, meaning that the intermediary has to account correctly. So this is a hub model, and that's the trade-off, right? The trade-off is that you have to account for it, which we think that for the API economy, and this is the idea of the gateway, that we become the hub where the user has to lock up liquidity with us once, and then we can route payments to many providers, and that way we avoid this issue of liquidity.
So when I say custodial, I mean that the spending authority is not exclusively with the user, which means that in case of compromise, which is something that I think every protocol needs to be very, very scared and focused on, especially what we've been seeing in the past few months. In case of compromise, then that means that there's a honeypot, right? Like there's money that I can drain as an attacker.
Not really.
No?
Maybe I didn't explain clearly. So the intermediary does not have access to the funds. The agent needs to sign the commitment, and then the intermediary has to sign the same message. We don't have access to the liquidity directly, but the authorization still has to come first from the user.
Oh, so you're saying there's censorship risk, but not theft risk?
Yes, exactly.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay, that's better. Okay, thanks.
All
By the
right.
way, very, very interesting project. I'd like to learn more.
Thanks.
All right. Does anybody else have one more question from the judges?
Great idea, great project. Congrats on the honorable mention.
Thanks.
All
Appreciate it.
All right. So if nobody has any more questions, we're gonna try to bring on our last participant who couldn't participate earlier. So I want to welcome Orthodox from ClearSig. Hopefully, it will work now. We're trying to. I think it was here just a second ago. All right, give us 2 minutes. I wish we had some elevator music. Okay, it seems like he has. Yeah, we've lost him. So that's unfortunate. However, we'll have to move on, and unfortunately miss him out. So that means now that all the participants have made their pitches, next up, everyone will be down, and that there will be like a 10 minutes of AMA with the guests, and yeah, so I want to put up all the guests while the judges write down their judgments. All the guests who are still here, just a little bit of a chit chat, if anybody's here still. My favorite pitch. I really liked Epicentral. That was a really good pitch. By the way, Tony, or like anybody who's actually here, the pitchers, you guys are free to come on stage now and talk. But my favorite pitch was, I really liked Epicentral, obviously, because I'm biased. There's a pretty good one. There you go. There's Tony. Hey man, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going? Sorry. I'm managing a million screens over here. I have like 5 monitors surrounding me. But yeah, a little biased, but hey, I'm glad you liked the pitch a lot. Been working on it. I look in the mirror, I wake up, I pitch to myself, I go to the bed, look in the ceiling, I pitch to myself. I'm just kidding. But that's how you should do it. So
yeah, I think that was great. You've definitely improved a lot, it feels like.
I appreciate it. Definitely the most people I've spoken to at once, that's for sure. But a lot of other people's pitches were really interesting. I especially like the last one too. I think with agents being such a big deal and kind of it growing still, it's a good time to do that sort of thing. That's just kind of my take. And then Sesto, of course, very interesting things going on there. Been looking at your platform, using it. So very cool stuff.
Yeah, so man, that was a long one. The road shows are always so long.
A little over 2 hours though, not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, comparing to how many people we had. Oh, I see a familiar face. I see Alex.
Yes, again.
Oh, everybody's turning their camera on. How's that, guys? How's that, Alex? How you doing?
Guys, I want to eat. we need to make it fast.
Wait, you eat? Devs eat? I've never done that.
I mean,
I literally have never eaten.
I mean, I'm hungry, man.
Yeah, good pitch on Backyard Finance. I think it's really cool what you guys are building. Been looking at you guys for a minute now. Hard to find you on the interwebs. I think when I look up Backyard, it like gives me like Home Depot. So I need to like need to find you. But it's good though. It's cool stuff.
You did also great. Actually, I talked like, I don't know, with Luca maybe a couple of months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked. Yeah, a couple.
Yeah. I hope our conversation was helpful. Yeah, because as I see, you got the honorable mention right now in Colosseum. So man, congrats! It's a huge step for you. Yeah.
I still remember our conversation about like having a stable coin that you can use that still has yield attached to it. So interesting.
Yeah.
I think something recently regarding like interest-bearing yield, interest-bearing tokens, what's really interesting we could try, and I want to try this very badly, and that is trading options on an interest-bearing token. I mean, it's kind of like, especially if you're like, let's say you're a market maker and you're selling options, that you just like, you earn yield from that, and then there's also an interest-bearing token as well. It's kind of like almost like a reversed covered call strategy for all the option nerds out there. But I don't know, something I've been wanting to try for a while, and I think there's a lot of experimenting to do. And there's a lot of projects in here as well, like Backyard, Sesto, even is it Rivo or Rivo? Sorry.
Rivo. Yeah.
Rivo. Yeah, even with Rivo, like there's a lot of cool ways to integrate. I feel like a lot of projects right now, nowadays at least, are very integratable, I would say, if they want to, if they have that open mind. But very cool stuff. 8-Bit, you're always a great host. Thank you for having us here, for real.
I mean, it's my pleasure. This is
doing great.
Yeah, this is like the third Roadshow already, and damn, we've had on a lot of people. We've seen a lot.
Third Roadshow, no elevator music. That's commitment right there.
No elevator music. I mean, you gotta cut out the awkward part, right? I mean, you guys.
How do we invest in an elevator music?
I mean, somebody go make a Futardio race. Somebody should put up a Futardio race for that one.
I swear, someone better do that. That'd be so funny.
The judges are really struggling for this rating. I mean, I can see the judges chatting.
Yeah.
Everybody was so good, they don't know.
Good question. Really tough questions, too. Those were good.
I have a question, 8-Bit. Where's our video? We filmed one.
Your video?
Yeah, we filmed one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming out. Don't worry. It's coming out. The internet is going to see it, and it's gonna be great. We're just still in the process of editing it.
Hold on, forget Luca. What about our video? Where's our video?
Yeah, there's we did something for Umbra that I think everybody will find very interesting, but I don't want to spoil it. You guys have to. All the audience has to wait for that.
Fair game. To anyone watching the stream right now, just gonna chill real quick. Epicentral is closed beta, opening beta soon, but shoot a comment and you'll get a code and I'll get you in and you can try it out. 8-Bit, I want to ask you a question real quick. Ask the host.
Okay.
If you could trade any asset or any derivative, anything, what token or what asset would you want, like either perps or options for, would you say? What do you think is misrepresented or underrepresented in the space right now when it comes to like multiple meta?
I need more meta.
Need more meta?
More meta.
Only meta.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like meta is probably the most desired asset for me at the moment because it's just, I mean, after all, that's why we got ownership because I love meta. But to be honest, maybe Zcash, I also love that.
True.
Because at the end of the day, you don't need more than some privacy and ownership.
You never know.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a noob with trading. What if you do perps with yield-bearing stablecoins, and the yield can pay for funding? Does that make sense, or is that too like? I don't know.
I think it's possible. I mean, I feel like 8-Bit. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like aren't there protocols out there that have already tried that? I think it just depends on the issuer of that stablecoin, I guess, that's being borrowed. And also, I feel like if you're trading perps and you're leveraging on Solana, unless you have like cross margin enabled, you're going to be borrowing Solana to leverage, not like stable coins or something, but kind of just depends on how it's set up. I think something I've been looking at myself is kind of setting up cross margin borrowing, kind of making it even easier to like write options, because I think that's one of the bigger hurdles is it's complicated. It's very convoluted, especially with like especially if it's yield bearing too. Like who's getting that yield really? At the end of the day, is it the trader? Is it the lender? How's that split?
Yeah.
So
Interesting concept though.
yes, very much.
Damn, these judges are really taking their time. I feel like this is the hardest they've ever had it. Hopefully they can come to agreement soon.
I feel like the whole ecosystem's been so competitive recently. Like
Yeah,
super competitive. It's crazy.
Yeah, the latest hackathon was the biggest one from Coliseum, I believe, which was, it was pretty crazy to see all those numbers, and I think it's just gonna keep increasing and increasing and increasing. So okay, I think, do we have? Okay, we don't have the winners, but we almost have them. Very close. Very close. Okay, still not.
What's the
Still
peak viewer
not.
count? What did we have, 8-bit? Give us the stats.
I think it was like 2,500 or something like that.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
I won't lie, I was a little nervous. But
There's nothing to be.
we did it.
There you
Hey,
go, Mango.
Bingo.
We got some friends in the chat. W's in a chat.
W's in the chat.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mango. Appreciate it.
We had some really great pitches, to be honest. I wasn't aware of Sesto before.
Oh, really?
Doing the show. Yeah, I actually got to know them like right before the show, not too long.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, they seem very, very cool, man. I can see why they won the hackathon.
Yeah, it's a super good product. Their branding is top tier, and it's simple. It's easy to understand. I've definitely remember there was another project out there that I think it was called Symmetry. It was very similar, where people could create their own baskets, and then people could trade that. Like the basket would be like a token you could trade, and I think like it was just really expensive. It wasn't very optimized. And I don't know. I haven't really checked up on them, but I think they were working on some interesting stuff. Would be cool to know how Sesto plans to like. I kind of need to dive deeper into Sesto and like understand it better.
We just got the final.
Oh, we did it.
Yeah, we just got the final order. So I'm just gonna be saying goodbye to everybody, to all the participants, and I want to thank everybody for showing up today. And yeah, I'll be just reading up the numbers. So I believe we'll be going from number 5 of the show is Salmon Wallet. So congratulations to Salmon for placing 5th on today's Roadshow. That being said, next up we have number 4. And at number 4 we have Backyard. Congratulations to Backyard for placing 4th in today's Ownership Roadshow. Next up, for 3rd place, we have none other but Rivo. Congratulations, Heisenberger. I love that name. Shout outs to you. That was 3rd place. So now we got 2nd place. Well, actually 2nd and 1st place, right? Oh no, 2nd place. Sorry, I just got used to announcing the 2nd and the 1st place at the same time. But yeah, so 2nd place. For 2nd place, it will be none other than Epicentral. Congratulations, Tony. That was a great pitch. You deserve that. And for number 1, and the 1st place, it's gonna be pretty easy to guess. But I think if you've been paying attention to the hackathon and everything, you'll know the number one is Sesso. So congratulations to Sesso for winning today's Roadshow and for winning the hackathon. It's great to have you on. It's great to have everybody on. It was a great stream. It was a great Roadshow. We got another one for the books. So I want to express my gratitude to everybody tuning in today. I want to thank you to all the viewers who stuck around in this 2-hour show. I want to I want to thank David, Matija, and Ranga coming here, and also Kru, even though we didn't get to see him too much, but it was good having him on. And for all the listeners, please check out Ownership on every social media out there. Check us out on X, Ownership FM. Check us out on YouTube with the same handle, Ownership FM. Same on Spotify, TikTok, Instagram. We are everywhere. There's no place where Ownership isn't. So yeah. Also, we have a Telegram, so you got to join that if you want to stay up to date. And last but not least, I need to thank, I have to thank our sponsors. Once again, I want to thank MetaDAO and Umbra for making this episode and Ownership possible. Without them, this would not, we would not be here today. So, thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next show.